Alright, kid. Hang on.
There's certainly no shortage of great Star Wars content to look forward to in the early months of 2023. And that includes the long-awaited third season of The Mandalorian. Disney just dropped a new trailer giving us a closer look at Season 3 and the further adventures of Din Djarin and little Grogu. Like any good trailer, this new footage leaves us with a Corellian Corvette's worth of questions. Let's break down what we learned in this new footage and the key questions it raises leading up to Season 3's March 1 premiere.
Being a Mandalorian's not just learning about how to fight. You also have to know how to navigate the galaxy.
We see quite a bit of Grogu in the new trailer, which shows the pint-sized Jedi enjoying being reunited with his dad and testing the limits of his Force abilities. But two shots in particular stand out as they both suggest we're finally going to get some answers about Grogu's mysterious past. In one shot, we see Omid Abtahi's character, Dr. Pershing, riding through the crowded skies of Coruscant. It's hard to tell if this is a flashback scene set during the height of the Empire or after its fall. But either way, whenever Pershing shows up, we usually get more insight into the Empire's efforts to study the asset. In another shot, we see a group of lightsaber-wielding Jedi preparing to battle an unseen foe cutting through a door. This scene is almost certainly a flashback, probably to the events of Order 66, as it's too early in the timeline for Luke's academy to have many students. There's a good chance we're seeing the Jedi tasked with protecting Grogu from the attacking clone troopers, who have probably been given special orders from Emperor Palpatine to preserve this crucial specimen. At this point, all we know about Grogu's early life is that he survived the Jedi Purge but endured a lot of hardship along the way. We hope that by the end of Season 3, many of those blanks will be finally filled in.
Did you think your dad was the only Mandalorian?
We've known since the Book of Boba Fett's penultimate episode that a trip to Mandalore is in Din Djarin's immediate future. Even as Din has managed to win the Darksaber in honorable combat, a feat that's eluded the planet's current ruler, Bo-Katan Kryze, he's also disgraced himself in the eyes of his fanatical cohort. He removed his helmet in front of others, and the only way to cleanse himself of his sin is to bathe in the sacred pools below Mandalore's surface. The big question is whether this pilgrimage will also force Din to accept the responsibility that's been placed on his armored shoulders. Whether he likes it or not, he's the rightful leader of Mandalore now. If the voiceover early in this trailer is any indication, it would seem he's finally starting to come to terms with this truth. It even looks like he's beginning to attract some followers. But who are these other Mandalorians exactly? The trailer shows a motley crew all wearing different colors and armor shapes. Are they loners like Din, or are they representatives of other clans? And will any of these characters turn out to be familiar faces from the Clone Wars or other pieces of Star Wars lore? We know Natasha Leo Bordizzo has been cast as Sabine Wren for the upcoming Ahsoka series, meaning another Star Wars Rebels character is making the jump to live action. Is it possible Sabine will make an early appearance in The Mandalorian first? Given how eclectically painted some of these armored suits are, we wouldn't be surprised if these new Mandalorians are serving under her.
And by the time it becomes big enough for you to act, it'll be too late.
We've seen several encounters between Din and the New Republic pilots fighting an uphill battle to patrol the lawless regions of space. Usually, the series treats these meetings as a running joke, where Mando stays one step ahead of the law. But the trailer features a reunion between Din and Paul Sun-Hyung Lee's character Carson Teva, suggesting that the New Republic may be turning to the Mandalorians for help. Carson references something dangerous, a threat steadily growing in power even as peace returns to the civilized galaxy. What exactly is he referring to? The simplest explanation is that the Empire isn't quite finished, even after Moff Gideon's defeat and arrest. We know, thanks to Ahsoka, that Grand Admiral Thrawn is still out there somewhere.
Where is Grand Admiral Thrawn?
If this series is meant to set up the Ahsoka show as directly as it did the Book of Boba Fett, then this tease could be referring to Thrawn himself. Maybe we'll get a taste of just how much firepower the Empire still has left under the control of its most ruthless commander. We do see one scene of Mando dodging Imperial fire in the trailer, so they aren't defeated just yet. It's also possible that Carson is alluding to the First Order or whatever version of it exists at this point. We're still decades away from the events of the sequel trilogy here, but we do know that the remnants of the Empire eventually retreat into the unknown regions and evolve into that new form. The Mandalorian has already forged some links between the original trilogy and the sequels, and that'll probably continue with Season 3. That said, there's always the chance that the trailer is teasing a different conflict not connected to the Empire or its successor. What if Thrawn isn't controlling the remnants of the Empire, but instead the mighty navy of his people, the Chiss Expansionary Defense Fleet? Or what if the series is drawing inspiration from the classic expanded universe and introducing some version of the Yuzhang Vong?
Our people are scattered, like stars in the galaxy.
Some of the most memorable stories from the expanded universe dealt with the long, destructive war between the Jedi Order and the ancient Mandalorians, thousands of years before the movies. While the EU may have been swept out of continuity, shows like The Clone Wars and The Mandalorian have established that the basics of that conflict still hold true in the new canon. One of the changes introduced in these shows is the idea that the Darksaber is the artifact that signifies the right to rule Mandalore. In the EU, it was instead the helmet of an ancient warlord known as Mandalore the Indomitable. That helmet was passed down from generation to generation, with each new owner carrying on the mantle and legacy of the original Mandalore. As we learned in the Knights of the Old Republic games and books, the Jedi General Revan defeated Mandalore the Ultimate in a one-on-one combat and hid the helmet, effectively crippling the Mandalorians for years to come. The new trailer features a quick shot of Din dusting off a very ancient-looking helmet. Is this Mandalore's helmet? And if so, are Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau trying to create a unified version of Mandalore's mythology that combines the Darksaber and the helmet? With the Knights of the Old Republic remake in the works, now would definitely be the time. Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker may be extremely divisive, but pretty much everyone can agree that Babu Frik was pretty neat. That's why we're so stoked to see more of Babu's people, the Anzellans, in the Mando Season 3 trailers. We can't help but wonder what role these characters have to play in the new season. Are they just colorful background characters, or will these technologically proficient little Muppets play an important part in Din's quest? And given that everyone in Star Wars seems to be related to someone famous, will we find out these Anzellans are members of the extended Frik family? The series has already gotten some good mileage out of familiar Star Wars creatures and droids, and we assume that trend will continue in Season 3. This new trailer also teases what looks to be a close cousin of Return of the Jedi Salacious Crumb, and all the astromech and protocol droids you could ever ask for. Heck, we even see a handful of Separatist battle droids in the trailer. Those are our biggest burning questions from the new Mando trailer. Let us know your thoughts and theories in the comments, and make sure you like and subscribe to IGN wherever you watch.